From the national headquarters of RT America in our nation's capital, hello again, everybody. I'm Rick Sanchez. We do want to bring you up to date on what's going on with the very latest on that passenger airliner that crashed in Moscow, by the way. The death toll, as you may have heard, has risen to 41, and there is some new information about what may have caused the crash, including interviews that we at RT have now with the pilot. But we're going to begin tonight with a meeting between the two nuclear superpowers regarding Venezuela and the United States and Russia. And it's happening as the United States continues to turn the screws on the Maduro government in an effort to try and replace him with National Assembly leader Juan Guaido, who seems to have been handpicked by Washington, as I'm sure you know. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov held talks today with his U.S. counterpart, Mike Pompeo. The meeting took place in Finland, where Lavrov reportedly warned, in no uncertain terms, by the way, that the United States military intervention in Venezuela will be both unjustified and catastrophic. Now, Russia, as you probably know from watching some of the newscasts and presentations we've done here, is heavily invested in Venezuela, both economically and militarily. It has been this way since Maduro's predecessor, Hugo Chavez, asked for Russian and Chinese help after the U.S. tried to remove him from office with a CIA-led coup, back in 2002, right? So Pompeo is telling the Russians to, quote, get out. That's Pompeo, the U.S. telling the Russians, get out of Venezuela and don't interfere. The Russians, for their part, seem to be saying, we're not the ones interfering here. You are. Here's Lavrov.
Attempts to force a change of government in Caracas is an unprecedented Washington-led campaign to oust the legitimate government and is a rude violation of international law.
So that's not all. Lavrov then accuses the United States of resorting in Venezuela to what he calls the same playbook that it's used historically in other places like Iraq and other interventions throughout Latin America. Listen to how he puts it.
The U.S. has this typical strategy of projecting power for decades by explaining that they are bringing good, democracy, and protection of human rights to countries that they are actually waging war against.
That's Lavrov's perspective. For his part, Secretary of State Pompeo is saying that whatever the United States does in Venezuela, it will be, quote, lawful. We're going to have the latest from the Finland meeting. Breaking news as well. And also, what is the pilot of that crash Russian plane saying tonight? This is the news with Rick Sanchez, where, as you've come to know, we do believe it's time to do news again. I'm Rick Sanchez. You found us on YouTube, and that's awesome. But you know what? I'm also live every night at 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern on DirecTV and Dish and cable and satellite, the RT app, and Pluto TV. I'll see you there.